Welcome to the Realtor Who Wines podcast. I'm Rashelle and Newmyer, your hostess with the mostest, a student of life, a connector, a passionate wine enthusiast, and your local favorite guide. Join me as we explore the vibrant Pacific Northwest, savor the finest wines, and champion the spirit of entrepreneurship. Each episode, I'll sit down with inspiring guests, supporting business ownership, and uncovering the stories that make this community unique. So grab a glass of wine, settle in, and let's embark on a journey of discovery and connection together. Cheers! Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Realtor Who Wines. I'm Rashelle Newmyer, your Realtor Who Wines, and today I'm with my very good friend and fellow Realtor, Whitney. I can't wait for you to learn more about her as we dive into all things real estate. But first, I'd like to say cheers. Thank you for being on.
Thanks for having me.
Whitney likes rosé, so we're drinking rosé today from Cloudville. They're out of Dundee, Oregon. Super nice and refreshing. It's also like 85, 90 today.
Yeah.
We're recording in August, even though this will be live in October. But today in August, it's very hot.
Today in August. Rosé is perfect.
Yeah, we're in the past.
Yes.
When you hear this, it'll be the past. But so today's rosé is amazing.
Perfect.
Will you please introduce yourself to everybody?
Yeah, my name is Whitney Robison, and I am a fellow Realtor. I'm with Keller Williams Portland Premier. And I'm very happy to be here, originally from Kansas City, Missouri, which Rashelle and I...
That's how we bonded.
Yes.
We were both originally at RE/MAX, and I can't even remember what training it was or something, but it was like some training, and we both walked in. And this was before, okay, don't come for us in the comments. This was before they were winners. Like, they had not won a Super Bowl in years. We've been fans of theirs for a long time because she grew up in the KC area. I lived in KC for about 10 years. We went to games when it was like $10.
Yeah.
And, like, no one was there. But... we both walked in to this like training, and she was in a KC shirt and I was in a KC shirt, and we were like, "Whoa, you exist in Oregon! This is amazing!"
Instantly.
Yeah,
instantly.
So, and then besties after that. We're like, "Oh, how can we not be friends? We have to represent." And now, of course, everyone assumes we're Chiefs fans because of Taylor Swift, which we also like Taylor Swift, but we're fans of them separately.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, I get a lot of heat when I wear Chiefs stuff because now they're good, but they were terrible my entire life.
Yeah.
And again, in high school, we would pay $10 to sit in the nosebleeds just to go to a sporting event.
Yeah.
It wasn't because they were good. They just
well,
were
and
terrible.
I wanted them to become good so bad, and now that they are, everyone's hating on them.
I know,
I'm
it's
like,
so
give
fun,
them a
though.
break.
It's
well,
so fun.
And it's funny. Like I had a Travis Kelce jersey before. Again, they were Super Bowl champs and Taylor Swift, and I won't wear it now because then everyone assumes I'm a bandwagon, like Swiftie fan, which is also a weird position to be in. This has nothing to do with real estate, by the way. But anyways, welcome to Rashelle and Whitney. But it's so funny because I do love Taylor Swift and I do love the Chiefs. They're just separate to me, and now I feel like I have to pretend like I don't like one or the other. Like when it's so weird.
I mean, my 6-year-old, we're flying to Kansas City on Monday, and she thinks she's going to see Taylor Swift.
You never know, girl.
I mean,
you never know.
That's the reality we live in now. So thank you,
that's
Travis,
so funny.
I guess. So.
Yeah, and Taylor.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thank you for being here. I wanted to have you on for multiple reasons. We have a lot to talk about with real estate, but we also both have connected through Women's Council of Realtors. And I slowly tried to rope you in because I knew you'd be like amazing at it. But Whitney's actually the president-elect. So she will be president next year of the Women's Council of Realtors in Portland, Oregon, which is exciting. When you first got into real estate, was being a leader in real estate even on your radar?
No.
Yeah, same.
It's been a very eye-opening experience, I will say. When I came from college athletics and working in men's basketball for a while, being the only female, like you kind of have your own little niche, I guess you would call it.
Yeah.
And when I decided to follow a dream of real estate, that was really scary. No idea that I could be in the position that I am in today. But it has definitely helped grow my business. The people I have met, and you are one of them, have been incredible, but it's also nice to have a group behind you that is going through the exact same things. Like when you're talking to buyers and sellers, you're experiencing the same things, and it's great to have a soundboard outside of your little office, I guess, of other realtors that are experiencing the same thing.
Well, and like resources and stuff out of your area. Like every now and then I do most of my business on the west side, as you do. But of course, like my longtime friends and clients, I'm not going to not help them on the east side, but sometimes it's harder to get there. And through Women's Council, I've had friends that have met my clients for me if I couldn't get there in time to like open a door or go drop something off really quick, or like in a pinch, like if something happens and I had to go get Rylan from school, so I can't make it to the east side. And I wouldn't have the resources or relationships without something like Women's Council.
Well, and real estate is lonely also. And so having a group to connect with, not only in Portland, but outside. Obviously, Kansas City, like I went to college in Kentucky. Like my friends are everywhere in my family. And so it's always nice when someone needs a referral. Like I'm going to Women's Council. Like I'm going straight there because I know that they're in it just as I am. So it's nice to have that network as well that I didn't know existed.
Oh, for sure. Well, and so for anyone that's listening that doesn't know what Women's Council of Realtors is a sub-affinity group through the National Realtors Association. There's multiple, and Women's Council is all about building women in leadership roles within women's state or real estate. Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. But yeah, within real estate, and like some people are like, well, why can't men be in it? They can. We actually have 9% of our membership is men. It's not a men's hater club by any means, but even though it's like 68% of realtors are women, it's only like 3% are in leadership. So the whole reason behind Women's Council is to continue to develop leaders who are female within real estate. It's not to like hold anybody else back. It's just giving tools and resources to let women grow. And it is national. So we have like 13,000 members nationwide. So to Whitney's point, like we can collaborate with people in other states. And we actually meet a lot of them at national conferences, at mid-year conferences and things like that. So it's not just like, oh, I saw them on the website and their Women's Council. Like we've actually had conversations with them multiple times, and they're just invested as in the code of ethics and trainings and stuff as we are. So you just know they're going to take good care of whoever you refer to them. So it's been wonderful. I'm really glad that you did decide to come to Women's Council. The first time I pitched it to her, she was like, you are nuts.
Yep.
I don't have time for that.
100%.
I don't have a need for that. And I was like, no, you'll be president someday. She's like, lady, you're crazy.
I mean, I still think back, Rashelle was like, hey, let's go to lunch. And I was like, why does Rashelle want to take me to lunch? And then this whole plan started inventing itself, I guess. And I was just coming off of kind of an online brokerage because I was staying home with my 2-year-old at the time, or 1-year-old. And I have 2 little ones. And so life is busy, and I didn't know how much capacity I could put in. But I am a busy bee, as Rashelle is very busy bee. But I thrive when I'm busier. And that includes family, work, everything in between. And so as I got into it, people are like, oh, you're going to be president. And I was like, I will never be president. And here I am.
And she's doing amazing. She's been an amazing president-elect, and you'll be a great president.
So it's been quite a process. And when people ask me about Women's Council, like, why should I join? And I'm like, well, this is my experience. Like, my business has grown tremendously because I feel like I have the support of all these people behind me. And it's fun to go to some events. There's CE classes involved. So it's not just all these fun things, but...
Well, there's even like just the professional growth is one aspect, but there's a lot of personal growth type stuff that they focus on too. And just so everyone knows, Whitney and I get no kickbacks, by the way, today by talking about Women's Council. Like these are our true thoughts and feelings and why we're passionate about it and why we've been in leadership about it. But like we're not going to get a check in the mail if you do decide to join.
WCR, no, I'm just kidding.
Please write it out too.
Yeah, but again, it's something I feel like that if not for Rashelle, when I was at Remax, I knew nothing about Women's Council, and it would have been a huge piece of my business, especially being a new agent, getting into real estate, to have this whole nother network.
And just support system.
Correct. So getting the word out, I think, is a big thing for us, that we're still getting new members that have no idea what Women's Council is.
Yeah.
And that's been a process, but I feel like we're gaining momentum and headed in the right direction to get the word out that come join us.
Well, and one thing that Women's Council has done for me, or has opened doors for me, is so before I knew Women's Council was even a thing, I clearly wasn't participating in like my local association, which is Portland Metropolitan area. And also like Oregon Realtors and stuff. Like I didn't even realize like, should I get involved in that? What would that even look like? But being in leadership in Women's Council, you do a lot of stuff with other local associations, with the state association, with the national association, and you just see so much more. I will be really honest. I was one of those agents when I first got licensed. I was like, why do I have to pay this fee, this fee, this fee? What do they do for me? I don't even know who they are. I'm just like writing checks. That's one thing that people don't know before you get into real estate, that like it costs thousands of dollars just to be able to potentially sell real estate. And that has nothing to do with like your marketing or anything. It's just to like have all the licensing and being able to access lock boxes and things like that. But as a like brand new agent, I was just like, what am I paying for? Like, who are them? Like, who are them? At least they speak English. Yeah. Who are them? But like, who are they? Like, what do they do for me? And then once I got involved in Women's Council and I started going to these other things, I was like, oh, I didn't know Oregon Realtors and the local associations help provide lobbyists at the Capitol that go on our behalf for Oregon leadership. Or like the reason we were allowed to sell real estate during 2020 was because we already had things in place that made us essential workers versus like a lot of businesses weren't allowed to do that, right? And so like that's what your dues go for. Oh, they provide all these education credits. I had no idea. I wasn't looking. So I think it's really important that any realtors out there listening, whether you're in your first year or your 20th year, get involved in something and be a little bit enlightened on what the associations are doing for you, your state association, and then something like Women's Council, Realtors, or any of the other affinity groups. I think is just so important because it just also elevates you as a realtor.
Absolutely. I mean, I will say that speaking of the opportunities that you get, when Rashelle was president of WCR, she was very, hey, we're going to DC. And I'm sitting here going, okay, great. You know,
have a nice time.
Yeah, have a great time. And she's like, no, you're going, you know. And so, again, I was super excited, but I didn't know what to expect. And the first time going, just being in a room with all these people, and I'll never forget, a lady from Florida stood up and said, hey, someone's running for president in this room one day. And I'm sitting here like, oh, yeah, if people tell me that, you know, it's not going to happen. And she said, no one's going to let you fail. And I took that and kind of ran with it because it was from someone I didn't even know. But that's what it's about. Like, we're not here competing against each other. We're trying to collaborate, support, and do all that stuff. Well, then next year comes around and I didn't go to the Capitol and speak my first year, but then the second year I'm getting emails and I'm like, who signed me up for this? Like,
you're welcome.
I'm like, what is this? What is going on? But going to the Capitol and advocating for fair housing, I am still at a high of what an experience it was. It's kind of cool now to one of the senators I met with was Senator Wyden, just to see like all of his things that he's currently doing now because not getting into politics, but just the advocating that he's doing for Oregon. And it's cool to see that I got to meet with him and talk to him and talk about fair housing and how it does make a difference, because I don't think a lot of people realize if people are not going to the Capitol and advocating, then we will not have housing for everyone. Yeah.
Well, and in real estate, we like to say we're the purple party because we want everyone to have a house. And we believe everybody should, you know, have the right to home ownership. So it doesn't really matter what side of the lane you're on. And even still, like, so even if you're blue, you'll sit with red, you'll sit with blue. It doesn't matter. It's whoever's in legislation. You're going to be sitting with them and talking to them about what's going on. And it is really cool to see them take us seriously. The first time I went to the Capitol, I did not know what to expect. And I thought they'd just be like, that's nice. Okay, take a picture. Have a great day. You know, kind of thing. But they were really like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah. So your clients are experiencing XYZ. So if we did this, do you think that would change or impact it? Or how do you think this bill would do this to your clients, you know? And it's like they are truly invested and they asked a lot of questions, and then we gave suggestions on, like, when we come prepared, right? It's not just off the cuff. Like, we know what's on the docket, and we come like prepared on certain topics that we're like really hoping will help them make a decision on how they vote when they're doing that. But I never once have felt not heard. Or like they always felt like every time I've gone to the Hill now that they like truly appreciate the real life examples that we're giving them that are from our clients. And then also we talked to them about the job, the profession, real estate. Like one of the things we talked about this year was health insurance for realtors, because we're all self-employed. Yeah, and self-employed insurance isn't the best and it's not the easiest. And so now we end up with a lot of agents running around with no health insurance because they, choose to buy marketing or whatever instead, right? And so just talking to them about like what are some options that we can offer, like better health insurance, especially to like, single moms or like anybody out there that's like trying to do it. So it's pretty cool. But we would have never just randomly went to DC on our own. No. It would not have been a girls' week and we're like, you know what we should do? The Capitol.
Exactly. And then this past year we had someone on our board, Angie, who her aunt is the head florist at the White House.
The chief florist.
Their chief, excuse me.
That was like, her official title.
We had no idea. I just thought we were going on a White House tour and okay, great. And then all of a sudden
we got a back of the house White House tour, which is really cool.
It was a really cool experience. And again, we were in DC, we were already there doing different things. So again, you never know like what's going to come out of it, but you meet different people from all these different brokerages. And obviously I know Rashelle's background, but there's some people that I don't. I was in sports my whole life until real estate. A lot of people don't know that, and that's okay. Yeah. But it's always like ever changing, I feel like. And even though, I'm going, almost done with year 5 in real estate, I feel like I'm still like, no, Whitney's in real estate now. Whitney is not in sports anymore, but
it's kind of a sport in its own.
It is. You get the adrenaline and you want to get the offer and
and also the physicality of like sometimes putting a lockbox in certain spots or whatever. I was actually giggling the other day because some people think like the scariest part or the most dangerous part of our job is like meeting strangers at strangers' houses. Try putting out open house signs. It's like a game of Frogger. You're like car, person, dog.
So true.
And you're like, where do I put this sign where people will see it, where it's actually helpful? And then also, how do I not die or get hit?
Because you're running to pick them up in a hurry.
And where do you park your car? Because there's not sometimes like a side lane where you can just pull off to the side and put your flashers on in a safe spot or whatever, especially if you're like in certain areas. And I was just thinking that the other day. I was like, we need to talk more about open house signs. This is dangerous.
It is. Well, it's funny you say that because I was putting out signs for an open house and I had my car like on the side of the road talking about being dangerous. Yeah. And I'm a girl, female. We want to be, safety. And this big truck like pulls in front of me and I'm like, all right, what's going on here? Whatever. Well, anyways, he gets out. He's like, hey, I need to sell, my uncle's house over here. Can you come take a look? And at the time, now looking back, like, what was I doing? Yeah. But I left the door open. Sure. So there we go. And you have another listing. So you never know. Putting out the open house signs, wild. You never know like what's going to happen. Yeah. And that just happened on a random Saturday, putting out my signs.
That's what's so wild about our profession too. Like never ever would you randomly be like, hey, I need a haircut. Can you just like come over? Like you would make an appointment and go to the business. Yeah. And then you also, no one's negotiating with like the hairstylist or the mechanic or the doctor or the dentist. Like none of these other professions have to justify what they're doing for you. Yeah. You just pay whatever their service fee is and you understand like you're hiring them. It's so crazy. Like we're just like, oh, sure. Yeah, I'll come to your house.
And that's, I feel like, okay, there you are. And then, turn around and you sign listing paperwork and you're just like, wait, where did this come from? But again, that is our, so similar to sports, you never know like, what is coming. I would love to know what's happening tomorrow, but I have no idea. And then it kind of goes into just like the way the market is right now too. Not only are we realtors, but we're also like giving out our opinions and our professional of, hey, this is how the market is. And people don't like what we're telling them right now. And they don't want to hear that they have to pay for the buyer's closing costs and all that stuff. Yeah. But it's a real thing right now and we'll see what happens, but that's been an adjustment for sure. So I've been in therapy mode the past couple of days. So
I think your sports background, because I have a sports background too, I think it helps make us resilient though, because it's always like fourth quarter push all the time. Totally. Like Or just like we're good at giving ourselves pep talks on like the days that it's like terrible. Like, well, we're down by 22 and it's halftime. What are we going to do to not be down by 22? How are we changing the game plan? And so, yeah, but a lot of times because we are by ourselves, you're just like hyping yourself up in the car. Like, here we go. Totally. Not going to get hit by a car while I put these open house signs out. I'm going to sell this person's house for them today.
Well, and even like just prepping to like call a client and being like, okay, like I'm expecting the worst. Hopefully it doesn't go like that, but hopefully it goes better than expected. But you never know the day they're having either, because that.
Right. Or sometimes it's opposite. Like sometimes I'm like nervous, like, man, I really don't want to make this call, just because no one likes being the bearer of bad news either. Like the inspection report came back and like there's a lot going on in your house that you probably didn't even know about. You know, it's not even like the negative calls where it's like, they said your house stinks or something. You know what I mean? And then you call and they're like, oh, yeah. Oh, well, yeah, we'll take care of that. And you're like, oh, that was so much easier than I thought. And then other times you think you have good news and you call and they're like, what? What do you mean? And you're like, whoa, why are you mad? What's happening? What's going on?
So true.
It's a roller coaster for sure.
It is. But I will say, like, when you find out there's like multiple offers or something, like that's when it like kicks into gear of like, okay, how can I be creative and make sure that my client's offers looks better than yours? Or whatever that is. Yeah. So that's like the fun puzzle piece for me where like the competition comes out for sure.
What's one of the most like creative things you've done to try and get your offer accepted?
Oh, good question. I think just using some like creative financing. Obviously, if I don't have a lot of money to play with, then kind of going, not asking for a lot. Maybe we're only asking for things over $5,000.
Right.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
Depending on the age of the house, what we think it looks like. I'm a big fan of letters to the seller. I feel like that's how my husband and I got our house.
Which is funny because a lot of agents hate it.
A lot of agents hate it.
A lot of people don't like it.
I don't like... Again, some people say don't submit it. And I will say, like, during COVID, like, I feel like some of them, like my sellers, I remember one of them were like, oh my gosh, if I would have read the letters before I looked at all the offers, I probably would have gone with this one.
Right.
Well, that was like...
That was partly why they, for a while,
took it away.
Right.
Right. And so, like, you have those situations. But I do think that when you, especially sellers who are selling for the first time, they want someone to come in and love their house.
Right.
And so... appeasing them, if you're going to come in and rent it out to someone else, like they don't want, of course they will, but they would like someone to come love their house.
Totally.
And I just think it goes a long way. And I mean, ours was, I felt really weird writing about myself, but you know, we said, hey, this is our forever home. Like this is where we want to be. And
well, and where you run the risk with letters too, is like sometimes it'll help. We're like, oh, another family.
Yes.
And their kids were 2 and 4 when our kids were 2 and 4 when we bought this house. But sometimes you'll get a client, and this is why the letters are a touchy situation.
It is.
Is that, like, some people will not choose them because they're like, oh, our neighbors are all retired. No one wants kids on the block. Or, like, they'll make that decision. Or they spent so much time and energy on their yard, and they love their yard, and someone might write a letter that's like, our 3 dogs can't wait to play in their yard. And they're like, they're going to ruin my petunias. I spent all this time in that yard. I'm not selling to these people that have 3 dogs. So that's why some agents are like, maybe you don't use it because you don't want to sway in one way or the other. But then sometimes it does help get your offer taken. During the bidding war season of the low interest rates and all that stuff, I do a lot of coastal homes. And a lot of the people that live out there full time are going to miss being on the Oregon coast if they're moving away. So one thing we started doing on offers was including a week to come back and stay in the house after. So like next year you get to come back and spend a week in the house. So one, it's like you get to see how they're living in it. Yeah. But 2, you get to come back and visit for free in your place. That's awesome. We got quite a few offers accepted with that concession.
Awesome. That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah. I was like, sorry, you guys are going to have to leave your house for a week. But this is the only way we're getting this house.
But we're going to get the house. So
do you want the house?
They might
go stay with your mom for a week.
Exactly. They might say no. So let's just figure it out.
Yeah. So some of them are buying them as investments anyways and weren't going to live there full time. But yeah, that really helped. That's for sure.
I love that. Yeah. I mean, again, I feel like it's all substantial of like what, depending on the situation that you're in right now. Right. I mean, during COVID, I remember my clients wanted one specific neighborhood and they were not willing to go 1 block this way, 1 block this way. and we lost like 8 houses, and we were going $100,000 over asking. And it was, my clients were like, okay, this is the last weekend. We're going out. If we don't find anything this weekend, we're just going to rent. And there was this house. It stayed on the market. It was a Monday. I called my client and I was like, hey, this house is still there. There's no offers. And she's like, no offers?
Let's do it.
Exactly. So I said, I'll see you there in an hour. And they wanted like a full gut house and to put their own taste on things. And she walked in and she's like, this is it. And now it's beautiful. They've redone the entire place. But it's just funny how things, I always say, and my husband will make fun of me, but if this is meant to be your house, it will be your house.
Oh, yeah.
And I totally believe that, because there's so many things that can fall through in a transaction, as we know.
For different reasons,
Not being a realtor, getting through all these contingencies, things can still go wrong the day before closing or the day of closing. You tell clients not to open a credit card or buy a car, and then you see them show up and you're like, whose
car is that?
Yeah, whose car is that?
We just got it. Isn't this exciting? And you're like,
no,
you might not qualify for this house now.
Yeah.
Have you talked to your lender?
So you never know what's going to come.
Yeah.
And it's not, I feel like when I first started to think about real estate, I was like, oh, this is going to be fun. I get to go in these cool houses and see these cool things. Yeah, it is so far beyond that. A day in the life of a realtor, you never know what's going to come your way.
Well, and it's so much more than just opening doors. I think, like, thanks HGTV and like selling Sunset.
Seriously.
It's nothing like
we don't have our short skirts on and our high heels. No.
Oh my God. I'm like, how do you get to any lock boxes?
Seriously.
Any lock boxes.
Yeah.
I'm 5'2", too. And so like sometimes they put lock boxes on the other side of a fence in the backyard. Ooh. But like you can't get the latch unless you reach over the fence. So like sometimes I'm like half, like almost like a Winnie the Pooh situation, like half over the fence trying to reach the lock. The gate swings open while I'm on the gate. Just like, it's like there's no way I'm doing that in a mini skirt.
Oh yeah. Nope.
Not happening.
It's wild.
It is. Well, and to your point, like the thing about like there's all this different roller coaster emotions for our clients through the transactions, but also through us, because I was explaining myself the other day that like I always feel like a duck, because like on the like above water, I'm just floating around like everything's great, but if you saw what was going on under the water, it's like nonstop movement, and that's like being a realtor. Like you are supposed to be the calm to the storm for your clients, and if you're a good agent, it drives me bananas when an agent gets their clients riled up, because like sometimes your clients don't know to be mad about something or like the audacity of something, but you're like, can you believe the buyers are asking for XYZ? And it's like the sellers might not have even cared.
Exactly.
If you just said, hey, the buyers are asking for this, thoughts?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, sure, done. But if you approach it with like, can you believe after we gave them this and this and this, the buyers want the chairs in the backyard, like something stupid, and then the sellers would be like, oh, I think I'm supposed to be mad about this. Like, no, I can't believe it. Not only are they not getting the chairs, now I don't want to pay for the repair or whatever. And you're just like, what is happening? Why did you get them riled up?
Well, and I think that in this market right now, you have everyone, like sellers think they're still getting top dollar, which
they're not.
They're not. Everyone's coming in with concessions because they need it for closing costs. They need it for rate buy down. Everything is more expensive right now.
Right.
And so less is more. And I feel like I've learned, you keep evolving, but just provide them with the information. That's all that you can do.
Well, and obviously we advocate for our clients, and we do everything we can to have their best intentions at heart. It's their money, it's their transaction. But I think so many times we personalize it, and we're offended by the offers. And I remind other agents all the time when they're getting heated, even on a call with me, I'm like, you clearly care a lot about your clients, and that's awesome. I care about my client too, but at the end of the day, it's their money.
Yeah.
This is what's going on with my client financially. Can this work for your client? Can you find out? We're not trying to make you angry. We're not trying to be offensive.
No.
But this is what they need to make this pencil out. That's it. This isn't, I'm not trying to attack you. And normally when you approach it that way, all of a sudden the other agent's like, oh God, I should chill out. I am getting heated.
It's true though, because it's refreshing when you get a good agent on the other side, because they're not working against you. Like, we are both trying to keep the deals together. And
where everyone wins. Like,
yes.
No seller is hoping to like screw over a buyer. No buyer is going to the market like, what seller can I take advantage of? You know, like everybody's trying to come out as fair and as even as possible to do whatever they need to do for themselves or their family. And so when you work with an agent like that, that has that same mentality, those transactions are so much better for everybody.
So much better.
Because there's just not this war going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy. Like, the stuff that we do behind closed doors or the conversations that we have. But you're right. Right now, sellers really want top dollar. But unfortunately, a lot of houses are hitting the market overpriced. So, like, you're not going to get asking. And people are asking for concessions. That's pretty. And
pretty
again,
standard.
We're recording today in August. This will air in October. So if interest rates or the market changes by the time you hear this, but as of August, this is what's going on. I didn't love when the interest rates were like 2 to 3%. I don't know about you. I mean, it was awesome for our clients ish. It was awesome ish because like ultimately our buyers were paying way over asking to get their offer accepted. And I had buyers that wrote 18 offers before we finally got one accepted, which was just like they were getting defeated and frustrated. It's a ton of paperwork. It's a lot of emotions. But then sellers, they're like jazzed when they get these offers, but they then have to turn around and buy. So then all of a sudden they went from this high to this like low because now they're on the other side of it. And they're like, well, now you're having to offer 100 over to get your offer accepted, which kind of sucks. Cause like if you qualified for like a $500,000 house, you were shopping for $400,000 houses. So you could offer up to 5 to even be considered.
Which is wild.
When the interest rates are that low. I would love to see them come back to like 5. I feel like 5 would be doable for a lot of people in our area. People now that they've been at 7-ish, floating around the 7s for a while, I feel like people would be grateful to see them at 5. But it wouldn't cause the chaos that it caused when they were like 3%.
I mean, I remember, again, not that I didn't always lock the door, but people would be banging on the doors of like,
oh my gosh,
hey, it's my appointment time. And I'm like, well, the person before me was 15 minutes late. So sorry that we are now running late. But if you didn't get to a house within an hour of it going on the market, there was already 3 offers in.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, wait, it just came on the market and you just called me back. So, I mean, I am very thankful that is passed for now. And again, like you're still seeing some multiple offers, but I feel like some of the houses,
I feel like if they're priced right, if the house is priced right,
and they have like a unique feature, those ones
like
are,
an ADU
or something.
Like multifamily living situation, which has been really popular since COVID.
Absolutely.
Is that like more people are working remote, and instead of like your parents downsizing into their own place, there's multi-generational, like us, for example, we both have younger kids. We're seeing a lot more people our age where their parents are living with them, helping with the kids, and then you're also helping with the parents. So it's like this full circle situation, but you need a house to accommodate all of that, where like you don't all want to like go crazy. So like ADUs and like 2 master or 2 main suites is like a really big deal.
Absolutely. I just saw one this morning in my neighborhood. I was like,
oh that looks lovely.
Yeah, we could do that. Okay.
Oh gosh.
I know.
That's the hard part about being a realtor. I was saying that the other day. It was like, I think this is how people feel that like love pets and volunteer at shelters. Like I can't adopt all the pets, but I want to help all the pets. Like we can't buy all the houses, but we're always tempted. Like we're just like, well, do I need a pool? Yeah. Well, do I? Because you see it all the time.
100 degrees. Like that would be nice.
Until winter, and you're like, how do I winterize this?
Yeah, exactly.
Thing? Yeah.
How do I do that?
That's so
it's funny. True though. But I feel like also you go in so many houses, and then I go home and I'm like, well, I don't know that I would like that. When the whole open concept was like a huge thing and that's what everybody wanted. Yeah, I was like, oh, that would be great. And then now I'm like, no, because then my kid stuff would be at least it's like hidden behind a wall that
or like in a playroom or
something like that. So it's the give and take, I think, a little bit. But I also, my 3-year-old would just, I mean, I want to redo my kitchen, but he walks around with a Sharpie and it's all over the cabinet. So why would I do that right now, you know?
Let's wait.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, and then they're driving their cars and bikes and denting the walls, and it's like, okay, it's fine. Like, don't care right now. But yeah, you're in so many cool houses and you're like, oh, this would be so, but then my furniture wouldn't fit. Like, it's not the vibe. Yeah. Like, I would have to start all over again. And, you know, it keeps going up and up. So,
yeah. It is funny, too, to see the different trends, too. Like, there was for a while, like, you go in and every house, like, all the walls were gray. Like, gray was, like, huge, huge, huge. And now it's back to, like, cream and whites and stuff. For a while, it was, like, the farmhouse, like, shiplap everywhere. And, like, live, laugh, love was everywhere. And, like, all that stuff. And now, like, you don't see that as much. No. It's more, like, minimal type decorating and stuff is more popular again.
Totally.
So, that's crazy. What is some advice that you would give an agent if they were just starting out as a realtor? And, like, how would you guide them?
Yeah, I mean, it's very eye-opening because you go and you pass the test and you think like, oh, this is great. Well, you just passed the test. Now it's reality of this is what a realtor does. And there is no training for it sometimes. But I think putting yourself like in the best situation, I had a great mentor. I still do. And so that has helped me tremendously to just watch her and go with her to things. So I think do your due diligence. Like, don't just go to a brokerage just because it's down the street. Like, go.
Or based on fees. Like, choose more beyond the fees.
Correct. Don't look at those because they will eventually even itself out. Like, we both started at RE/MAX, and I thought the fees were really high. And now looking back, I'm like, oh, yeah, they were minimal, right?
Yeah.
I know when I was shopping around, it was interesting, and you try not to steer yourself into just because the fees are so low, but you're not getting the support.
Right.
So it's the give and take of, my advice would be make sure you find a place where people are willing to help you, because if you're left on an island, you are not going to succeed.
Yeah. Well, you and I have both moved brokerages a couple times, which some people in the industry think that's like bad, and others are like, whatever. Yeah. And we both made the decisions based off of like more life situations versus like what was going on at the brokerage. But like when you decided to go from RE/MAX to EXP, you knew you weren't going to be like going to the office meetings because you had a young child at home that you were going to be at home with. So you're like, well, I'm not going to be going to office meetings. I'm not going to go to in-person trainings. I'm not going to need this and all that stuff. So it made sense. Totally. But as soon as he was ready to be in a more of a daycare situation, you're like, okay, I miss in-person trainings. And then you made the change again.
Totally.
And I think that's okay. I think sometimes what happens too is someone starts at a brokerage and then they worry about, well, if I leave, everyone's going to think I failed here or something. And one thing I've learned is you can call. I don't know if any of my clients know what brokerage I'm at. I don't know if they pay attention to that. I think I mean, other brokers do and other realtors do, like, oh, she went from this place to this place, I wonder why, or whatever. But like my clients are like, Rashelle's a realtor, but they're not like Rashelle's a realtor at blah blah blah. They're just like, oh yeah, Rashelle's a realtor, oh yeah, she goes to that town, oh yeah, she'll do these kind of houses. But so if you're an agent out there and you're like wavering or not getting what you need from a brokerage, or you're ready for a change, like, I wouldn't worry about what the general public thinks.
I agree.
And to be honest, most of the brokerages, as long as you don't leave like a creep, like, just be honest. Like, I left RE/MAX like you did, like totally on the up and up. Lots of like friends, I was just like, hey, I'm leaving for these reasons. I just need my office to be in a different location, different things. Same when we were both at Keller Williams at the same time too. You're still there at that office. Same thing. I left because I moved, and I was like, I don't like commuting to this office as much and all these things. It has nothing to do with like something that the brokerages are doing. Sometimes it's just a you decision. But also sometimes it is like, well, you're getting that at that brokerage. I only get Staples over here or whatever. You know, sometimes you move because of that. But I think just have friends in the industry, ask the questions, and then like find what's best for you.
I was going to say, and I think too, the more like when I started at RE/MAX, I thought that's all I knew. And so as you progress, you want a little more, and I wanted more, and it's not that they didn't have it. I just wanted something different. And so then you start looking into other options, and I totally agree. I don't think any of my clients know. I will say for me, being with like a RE/MAX, a Keller Williams, Coldwell Banker, the bigger names, like my family's all in the Midwest, they know those names versus the smaller brokerages out here. And that does matter to me, just because I want my family to be like, oh, Whitney works for Keller Williams. And people are like, oh, I know who that is. When I was at EXP, I did not, I had some older clients that are like, well, I've never even heard of this,
Yeah.
And so not that it's a bad thing, but again, they don't know and they don't care. They want you as the realtor, and that's all that matters to them.
And if you are starting out too, like picking sometimes one of the bigger names is the best way to start, because they do have way more training and onboarding because they've been doing it for so long and building huge businesses for so long.
Yeah.
But you're so right though. The license, a lot of times, like getting your real estate license, it's all about just like the rules and regulations. It's nothing really about like, how do you fill out a form? What's a sales agreement? That's not even a question on the test.
Which is wild.
Yeah, I mean, it's more like the laws around it and, like things like that. And how can you get fined as a realtor if you break these rules?
Totally.
But there is no like, what do you do in a multiple offer situation? Or there's not even stuff like, what if the house has a septic? What kind of inspection should you have? Who should you reach out to? What are kind of questions you should ask a seller that has a septic or a well before you list a house, so you're prepared when people ask you questions? Like, these are all things you just learn on the go or from a brokerage.
And you're running your own business. No one teaches you, like, that to me should be like a side portion of you are running your own business, and here you go. Luckily, I was running summer camps for a while, so I had an idea of running your own business, but that's a whole nother platform that I don't feel like people talk about
your taxes
enough.
And all that stuff as a self-employed.
It is very difficult, and like we were talking about earlier, it takes thousands of dollars just to be able to be a realtor. That does not count. And I remember my mentor was like, plan on 1 year not having a sale. And so I took that to heart, and I was like, okay, 1 year. And my husband's like, it's going to take you 1 year to sell one house. And I was like, well, that's what people are telling me, whatever.
It's the word on the street.
Exactly. So like mentally, and I've told some new agents in my office too, of like, mentally prepare for that because you don't know when it's going to come. I've had a bunch of listings recently, and I've had some new agents doing open houses, and was talking to a new one. She's like, well, it was a slow open house. I only had 3 groups through. And I was like, oh no, that's great. Those are 3 opportunities that you have to talk to people, to give your business card out. That's okay. Yeah. But the grind of keep doing them, even if no one comes, I'm like, okay, fine. That gives me 2 hours to get some work done.
That's what I
didn't get to do.
Leverage that time. So like, let's say the open house is quiet, which sometimes happens, especially during the summer. I think a lot of people assume open houses are really busy during the summer. They're not.
No.
Because kids are still in sports, or still like travel teams going on. People are enjoying vacations. Sometimes they're enjoying the weather. Sometimes they go out because it's hot. Sometimes they stay in because it's hot. It's like this whole thing. So, but if you do get 3 people through, at least you got 3 people through. There was 3 opportunities to, 1, help sell the house, or to prospect for clients that aren't being represented yet. But 2, that's a great time to be uninterrupted with anything. Doing emails, doing marketing, following up with clients, putting together other like CMAs and things like that. And I always do a lot of social media stuff at open houses, of course. For those of you listening. Well, I'm just going to say, you have to have permission. You can't just be making videos at anyone's house, but you have to have the seller's permission. And if it's not your listing, the listing agent's permission. But most of them say yes. So like, that's a great time to come up with like all week's social content around real estate while you're sitting there. Like, leverage that time. So many people just sit there and like cruise on social media themselves. They don't do any work. And it's like, you are working. Think of it as office hours. If no one's coming in, just be working.
Well, and I will say too, another, time blocking is a real thing for real estate, because your day can be turned upside down very quickly.
For sure.
But you also still have timelines, and you have to make sure they get done. So if you don't set aside an hour to make sure that I hit that 5 p.m. deadline because the inspection contingency expires, you're not going to have that. And I'm a big fan of that. I need to do more of it. But again, if it's not my calendar, you will not see me, and I will not be there, because it will be lost.
Because like, our kids have early release. We're in different schools districts. But we will text each other like, it's early release day, because like we'll forget like, oh, it's early release. Someone's got to pick up our kids. So it's like, even that's on my calendar. It's like, my daughter's activities, even when she gets out of school, and some people might think I'm a bad mom for that you need that on your calendar. Remember to pick her up. I do when I'm in the middle of all this like paperwork and I'm trying to hit these other deadlines. And then next thing I know, it's 1:30. I'm like,
gotta go.
So, but if it's on my calendar, I get a calendar alert like, hey, you need to leave in 10 minutes to go get Rylan.
Yep.
Then I can wrap up what I'm doing.
Because it's hard. Yeah. And you have some clients are better than others, but we're trying our best to be parents also. And so, I mean, I like to have family time. I get to pick up my kids, and I wanted that.
Right. That's why we became realtors.
Exactly.
So we could do that.
The flexibility to have that. But there also is downtime. We are working weekends. We are literally a client's calling, and then we're leaving in an hour to go show a house. Again,
compared to the other professions, people get mad and want, like, we're constantly having to justify the amount of money we get paid. But, like, are you texting anybody else that you hire for a service at midnight?
Yeah.
Like, seriously. Are you texting your hairdresser? Like, I'm thinking about bangs. What do you think about bangs at midnight? No, you're not. But you are texting your realtor.
Totally.
Like, hey, did we ever hear back from the XYZ? And, like, a lot of times I'm up at midnight and I debate, like, do I respond because I'm up?
Yes, it's hard.
But then it's like, I don't want to encourage you to always text me at midnight, but at the same time, I have the answer right now, so normally I respond. But it's just so funny. Like, there's not a lot of other professions where you're answering calls or like texts, emails at all hours of the day.
We joke, my in-laws moved from Chicago, and my mentor now, my mother-in-law used to text her, and she would be here like all the time, but she would never give her a heads up. And it would literally be, hey, I just landed. I want to see 5 houses tomorrow. And she would literally voice text her when we picked her up at the airport. And at the time, I didn't think anything of it because she responded. The realtor responded.
And I was like, an agent at that time.
I wasn't an agent. And now looking back, but she always responded. We saw 5 houses the next day. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe. But now sitting here, I'm like, yeah, it happens and I'm ready. And that's why it's hard to commit to things on the weekend. Like if it's early, that's fine. Because typically, like, not a lot of people want to get in at 9 o'clock in the morning, right?
Well, and you have to keep in mind too, a lot of it's not just us. Like sometimes when I'm like, oh, that house isn't available, they're like, wait, why can't you show it to me at 9? And I'm like, I can't. What I'm saying to you is the house is not available because people live there and they don't want to be gone yet. Or that's right when the school bus comes, or that's right when they're working from home and they have a meeting. So sometimes you're like, it has nothing to do with me or my schedule. I'm just, so that dogs, would stress me out.
Everything.
Oh yeah, that too. It's, I feel like we're like, real estate's horrible. It's not. It's just so much more robust than people realize. And that's like what we're talking about. I was joking around the other day too, that like, being a realtor is like dating multiple people at one time.
Yes.
And it's like, I just got a referral from an agent from out of state, and I just met her client in person for the first time. And she called me yesterday and was like, hey, by the way, he loved meeting you. He loved your vibe. He thought you were great. And I was like, he did? And again, it was just like dating again. Because I go, you never know. I go, it's so much like dating where like you'll have one meeting with a client and then you're like, I hope they call. Or like, I wonder if they want a second date, you know, or like we're meeting or whatever. Or sometimes we're always thinking about our clients way more than they're thinking about us. Yes. I don't know about you, but I'll even be in a shower like, this addendum's got to get done and this has to happen and this has. My clients aren't like, no, I haven't heard from Rashelle today. Or I'll be thinking like, oh, I haven't, like someone I sold a house to like 2 years ago and I haven't talked to them in 3 months or something. I'll be like, oh, I really need to reach out to the Smith family. I haven't talked to them in months. The Smith family's not walking around like Rashelle hasn't called in months. But
I haven't gotten anything from Rashelle.
Weird. But it's so funny. Like you were always thinking about them. Like I just feel like I'm constantly like chasing like dates. Like I hope you like me. Please call me back.
Well, and then
I want to go on a second date.
It's like that, and then you don't when you meet people with this whole NAR settlement that now you have to have a buyer broker agreement.
Oh yeah.
I struggled with that for a while because it happened in August. I had an out-of-town client who I had never met. We've done a couple Zooms with them and they flew into Portland to see houses. And I was like, I have to ask them. They don't even know like how I operate. I mean, I've tried to explain to them.
Right, but you can only learn so much via Zoom too.
Totally. And so it was a weird thing, but we worked through lots of questions. It was very good. And now I feel like it's better, but people are now asking more questions, as you said, of like, oh, you make this much money. And sometimes, okay, well, I might be making $10,000. However, I have to pay out, you know, all these little buckets that people don't realize. And it's hard.
Well, and sometimes too, like I have a listing on the market right now, and my first conversation with her was October of last year. And we met and talked and like house prep and all this stuff. And we didn't go on the market till March. And then by the time we closed, like I might have been working with her for a year. So it's like, we'll take that lump sum. And then you have to take all the fees out and all this other stuff that people don't realize that we have to pay. And then taxes are huge because we're self-employed. So like, that's a huge chunk. So like, let's say we'll just use $10,000. A lot of times you'll walk away with like $4,000 of the 10 grand. And then if you divide that by 12, that's not even minimum wage.
No.
So everyone's like, where's your Rolls Royce? And I'm like, you tell me, babe.
Please tell me.
Okay.
So again, but it's always like that. And again, I feel like everyone's journey is different, which is a good thing. But if you have the support and you have a team behind you, you will be fine.
Yeah. And sometimes the team is just like friends at another brokerage.
You were on my team.
Yeah, exactly.
I had a listing out here in Yamhill County, and I was like, Rashelle, hey, da-da-da-da. And she's like, do this, this, and this. Here's a photographer. Here's this. So that's another part of Women's Council also, is you have a network of different agents in different parts
and we all
of the state
want to see each other win. Like, some agents that have been like, Whitney, why didn't you just refer that to me? I'm like, hey, girl, yeah, that's awesome. Okay, you want this person, this person, this person. Yeah. If you need an open house person and you don't want to come out here, I'm out here. I'll do it, whatever. Totally. So, but yeah, it's all about just seeing each other win and stuff. Totally. Obviously, you and I could talk forever on real estate, which is why I wanted to have you on, just because there's like so much to say. We'll definitely have you back next year, and you'll have to tell us all about how your presidency is going once it's like full-fledged. But cheers to you.
Thank you very much
for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you for everyone listening. I can't wait to see you next week. Cheers.